Hello, welcome back to The Crafty Organizer. I'm Noreen Burke, a professional organizer, where I love bringing you ideas on getting organized, decluttering, doing some upcycles, DIYs, and the occasional crafty project. Today I am tackling with you photographs. I have a huge collection of family photographs that I've recently inherited, as well as my own that I've collected through time. I'm going to be doing this with you so that we can get through the organization of these family photos so that you can find ways to not only store them, but to get through and whittle them down. Let's get started. So as you can see, I already have some piles going through. I started this entire project by just pulling out the boxes. And what I did initially is I didn't worry about what to do with the photos. There were no decisions to be made in the beginning portion. All I did was start organizing them by people I knew, people I didn't know, and then if there were names written on the back with dates, I set those in a separate pile. And the photographs were sadly, I not only didn't know who it was, when it was, where it was just a vintage photo. I made a whole separate pile for those because what I'm going to do with those is offer them to someone who enjoys doing some sort of craft with vintage photos so that they can still be used. Some of these are really cool pictures from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And there's no way to know who these people are. So my particular genealogy history is very different than what I'm hoping yours is. Most of my family has sadly passed away. I still have my mom, I still have my dad, and I have a few cousins that I keep in contact with. All of my grandparents, aunts, great aunts have all passed away. So even though my girls know about some of my family members that I have photos of, they don't have any personal first-hand memories with these people, which breaks my heart. We have one aunt that had just passed away this last April, not from COVID. She was going to be 104 during the summer, so she didn't get to hit that birthday. They have a few memories of her, but most of those memories were visiting her in a home, so they never got to have real active memories of doing things with her. But still, I'm going to have all of these family members kind of put together in a book that they'll get digitally someday, just so they know where their family came from and know who they are. I think that's a really exciting thing for them to have, but I'll be doing that digitally so that they don't have the burden of boxes of photographs to contend with, and the photographs will have an explanation of a timeline, a geographic area where they came from, and allow them to understand who each individual is. So with the remaining photos that I have here, I now have it broken down to my mom, my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, and then myself and my children. So this is where I need to get to start breaking down which ones I am keeping. Now for my own personal photos, I realized I was keeping a lot of extra things just because I wanted to remember. I have those memories. Those are still intact. There are a few that as I went through, I thought, oh yeah, but I don't need to keep a box of pictures just so I can look back and go, oh yeah. So I was pretty brutal in my discarding. As you can see, I have a big box here of photographs. These are all pictures of me just so I remember doing something with someone. I have to confess, as I was looking at these, 50% I still don't remember what the event is for. So I'm letting them go. The other ones are unflattering pictures or relationships I'm no longer in or friendships that ran their course. So keeping these photographs is not necessary. Now, I did keep a lot of pictures that I liked of myself. I know that's vain, but they were pictures I liked of myself. I want to be able to look back and go, oh, why was I so hard on myself in my 30s for being overweight? I looked great. And I think you should do that too. I think too often we're hard on ourselves, but that's a whole different subject. So I'm keeping pictures of events that I enjoyed, friends that I miss and love and want to have memories of. I sent a picture yesterday of an invitation I had of a slumber party from 1980. And I sent that to my friend who I still have contact with on Facebook. So those were the great kind of memories that I got to keep. Now that I have it digitally, I'm going to let the clutter part of it go. So, you know, it's always interesting when you start going through photos, it's emotional. These are your memories, and oftentimes we don't want to face our memories. So really quick, this isn't a sad video, just a sharing. So when my parents split up, sadly, my mom had a substance abuse issue. So that was sad. But what happened is she moved a lot and oftentimes didn't have a home. And so all of my childhood photos are gone. But I've had a lot of family members who did have them, and as they would come across them, they would either send me pictures or send me copies. So I have been able to recoup some of them, which has been really exciting. So as you're going through your pictures and you're grouping them into things, you can start going through, and I don't need to keep every picture of me, even though it's tempting, because I have lost my pictures. Like here's a picture of, this isn't me. I don't even know who this is. So it's not written on the back. I don't know who that is. At first glance, I thought that was me. No, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a doll. So since I don't know who this is, sadly, this picture is just going to go away. There's no need to keep it. But the rest of these, I'm going to go through quickly. I mean, can you think of a less flattering picture? I was about 13 here. This one doesn't need to be kept either. I don't need a memory of looking goofy. So the rest of them, I'm going to start organizing based on kind of an idea of age. Like I'm probably a teenager here, 7 or 8 here. I think I was 5 here, 4. I remember that dress. So I'm just going to kind of put them into a chronological order, and then later, 13 here, later I can go through and really decide which ones I need or don't need. For some reason I have a lot of me in a swimming pool. Okay. You ever wonder what my hair looks like? You guys, isn't that hilarious? I have had this crazy curly, I don't know what to do with it, hair forever. Thankfully, I've learned that if you grow it out, it responds better. Okay, so here's all I'm doing. I'm just going to keep going through and putting similar pictures of a time frame so that like these are baby pictures that my aunt sent me. So that's super sweet. I have some baby pictures. That's awesome. Teenage years. Yeah, see, always fighting that hair. This was probably a actually pretty calm day, but usually it was just crazy. So, so yeah, I'm going to just keep getting these pictures kind of put together for a chronological time frame, and then the rest are going to go. I don't need all of these pictures. My kids will get a kick out of seeing some of them, but the rest of them, they're just going to go. So I'm also discovering I have a lot of duplicates. Yeah, so here's a duplicate. So here's my kindergarten picture. So I have a wallet that came from my aunt, and then my dad had found this one in an old wallet. This one is faded. I'm going to take a picture of this one and keep that digital copy, and I'm going to do that for all of these. Now, if you have access to a scanner, do that. But I don't. So I am literally just going to lay out my pictures like this, and I'm going to get out my phone. So I'm going to open up the camera feature on my phone. I'm going to come in and I'm going to avoid any glare, and sometimes you might have to change the angle and play with it. But I'm going to come in and get the closest picture I can without having the glare or a shadow, and I'm going to take a picture. Now if you want the whole shot, you can do that too. Just come over here, try and avoid any angle, or let me change it here. Oh, there we go. That's a better one. So now you see I have a JPEG. This is a really high quality image of that picture I just took, and I can now save this. And here's the closer up one that I took for better resolution. This is going to be the same quality you would get if you went in and got it scanned. For speed and efficiency, you can group, like here's all my childhood. I can just lay these out on a grid, take pictures in order, and then when I transfer them into the file, they're going to be in order of how I took them, which means I have a complete set of my pictures in order of oldest to newest, and they're in one file. This makes it so much easier to transfer photos from the tangible photo that you have into a digital copy. So you're not going to watch me do all of these pictures, but this is how I would attach this mode. Now let me take you into the next section of my photos. So sadly, I only have these things from high school, which really sucks. I'm sad, but it is what it is. So, oh, there I am. How cute. Okay, I really wish I had a prom picture. That makes me so sad. I don't know what happened to those, but I don't have them anymore. So what else is in here? I think most of this stuff can go. I've never looked at it. I'll probably post it. I'm on a Facebook page with other people from my high school. So I'll probably post this just in case somebody doesn't have it, but I don't need any of these things. So I'll digitally make a copy of my high school photograph. My first boyfriend, I'll take a picture of that and tag him on Facebook. He'll get a kick out of that. And then the rest of this stuff is just going to go. There truly isn't any reason for me to keep this. I've only kept in contact with a few people from high school, so I'll tag them and I'll tag the high school page. And then this entire pile is going to go. My kids are not going to need to see the fake, diploma from when I graduated. So this is just a piece of clutter that they would have to contend with when I pass. These photographs are pretty much everything from the early 90s to about the early 2000s. So I'm going to go through, I'll put these in order, and then I will go ahead and get my camera out on my phone, do the same thing I had mentioned earlier, which is take a picture, and then I can digitally transfer these in the chronological order that I laid them out with and transfer them right to my computer. If you don't know how to transfer your photos from your phone to a computer, there are tons of great tutorials online that will explain how to do that. That's sadly not something I'm able to get into today because there are so many variations. But I will get these whittled down and then I will have them stored on my computer. Now, I did have a video before where I showed how to manage your files on the computer. I'll have that linked in the description below, and I'll try and put an info card on here. But this is what I am now left with. I have my childhood, my high school years, my adult years. So these are going to be what I'm transferring. I have my dad's family, and some of these pictures, you guys, are just so cool. This is Cuba in probably the late 40s, early 50s. Oh, it must be the 40s because my dad is there. So that's very cool. My dad also was born in Spain, so this is receipts from the family farm. I don't know why, but they date back to the late 1800s. So this is super cool, and I want to find a way to get that really preserved and saved. That is an item that I'm actually going to not get rid of. I'll digitally copy it, but I want to make sure I have this as well. So my dad's family, my mom's family. Then I have a file of all of my parents. So I have, of course, my biological parents, but then I have the people who have raised me, and I have them in here as well. So I'll be putting those, once again, always in chronological order, and I'll be transferring these over into a digital file. And then I have my step-parents, my first marriage, and then my second marriage. And there will be no more marriages after that. The second marriage, that was it. I'm not getting married ever again. So I was able to whittle down those two giant boxes into just this little stack of file folders. This has been very liberating to me to go ahead and throw away this giant box of pictures from memories that, number one, were not good for me, or number two, I don't have any contact with this person again. Yes, it's fun to look back and see how I've aged or how things have changed over time. That's a wonderful little snippet, but these are not things that are bringing me, as Marie Kondo would say, joy. So why am I carting it around? Why am I letting it take any space in my life, in my craft room, in my home that's not bringing me joy? I'm letting bad things live rent-free, and that stops for me today. So let those things go. Take it in chunks. Definitely do not sit down and think that this is going to be a 1-hour process. Spend some time with it and walk away. Go in small chunks so that you don't have a giant thing. The best trick that I found was having the manila file folders, and as I would come up with what I felt was a new category, I would just write on top what I thought it was going to be. And if I needed to subdivide, here's an example. I started the first file folder and it just said family. And then as I started going through it, I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. I've got so much family, but I want to make sure that I'm not keeping people that I don't know. So then I started breaking it down by my mom's family and my dad's family. But then once again, I realized, okay, you know who these people are because you've been told, but you have no active memories of them. So that's when I changed it more from the paternal and maternal family, and then my family. And again, I made that delineation just with people who I had personal first account memories of, because those are going to be really easy for me to record and make journaling and make notes for my kids of, here's a story I have from your great-great-grandma, or here's a wonderful story from my great favorite aunt, who they know by name, but sadly they have no first-hand memories because she passed before they were born. But that's how I started breaking these down. So by keeping those manila files, it also keeps it so it doesn't spread out all over an area. You can just keep dropping them in a file folder, and then when you need to stop because it's gotten to be too much, it's contained, it's organized, you know right where you left off. There's no piles that you now have to put together and start all over with. So the manila files are a great way for you to get through the process. The most important thing is, no matter how long it takes you, get through them. It'll be so therapeutic to finally get rid of all of these photos that are taking up place. And it'll be a wonderful way for you to actually get to revisit and enjoy those memories of good things that you have gotten to do. I hope this helps. I know this is such a hard thing. Oh, one more thing I wanted to talk about. I do have my pile of mementos. I have bags of mementos from trips I've taken. I got to go to Amsterdam a couple of years ago. Everything's in a box. Why? I got to go to Epcot one year. I got to go to Florida. I've been to Spain. I've gotten to do some amazing traveling with my family. And all of those mementos are sitting in a bag. I've given myself a time frame. I've set a date on the calendar. If I have not digitally transferred those over and made some sort of journal entry about it, it goes away. I don't remember all of these things, and seeing a map of, oh, that's right, I walked through this street. Someday I'm going to pass away. What are my kids going to do with that bag? They're going to go, oh, cool, Mom went to. So set the timer, set a date on that calendar, and promise yourself you're going to get through those things so that those nagging boxes aren't taking away from your space anymore. Thank you so much for watching today. I know this one was a little bit longer, but I appreciate you getting all the way through it. I will be posting another video in just a few days, so make sure you've hit that subscribe button so that you're notified. And thank you to my Patreons who are allowing me to get these videos out to you, as well as do the virtual makeovers. See you guys soon. Bye.